Today we will be exploring steampunk by creating a steampunk letter. The first thing you will need to do is create an armature, which in this case is the letter K. An armature is a skeleton or frame for a sculpture. Measure out your letter or shape, cut it out and trace around it to replicate it. These two will form the front and the back of the sculpture. Using light card or pasteboard, you will then cut out the sides. I want them to be about the thickness of a ruler, allowing for card on either side. This will attach to the sculpture and ultimately connect the top and bottom together. I use a printing tool to score my edges, making the folds easier. You can also score gently using some scissors. You're also going to cut the fringes along either side before attaching. I have estimated how many side card pieces I will need, but you could measure to be more accurate if that works better for you. Now it's time to construct the sculpture. I have used Yoo-Hoo liquid glue and masking tape, which I prepared earlier and stuck along the side of my table. I am measuring against my letter, scoring the edges and cutting down my pieces as I go. Allow for little tabs on the edges, which will help attach to the adjoining pieces. Push the fringes in and double secure with extra masking tape around the outside edges. When finished, you can start immediately on the plastering or paper mache with newspaper. That would also work well. I am a massive fan of prepping your materials before you need them and preparing them en masse. So I cut up about 100 thin pieces of plaster bandage before I started. I placed those into a bowl, as you can see here, and I had another bowl of water. I dipped my plaster bandages in for a couple of seconds, shook off the excess water, and covered my K. I only needed one layer. Once that dried, I added my gesso. You could add 1, 2, or even 3 layers of gesso before you paint. You can see here that I also wanted to paint over my jigsaw pieces, so I added them on with glue, dried them, and then painted the color over first. You can see here my prep for my Steampunk Cogs. I purchased through Amazon. I used to be able to get them at local art supply stores, but I haven't been able to see them or find them recently. So Amazon stocks them and they send them out pretty quickly. Steampunk, as described by Wikipedia, is a retro-futuristic aesthetic inspired by 19th century industrial steam-powered machinery. So you want the piece to look old while representing a futuristic metallic look. I chose the teal color as the base before I placed on all my beautiful cogs, keys, locks, chains, anything I could find around the house, I added. Attaching all of those cogs and bits and bobs, Yoo-Hoo liquid glue works really well. To create the age effect, I added black and a small bit of red paint on top of the cogs, dried it, and then, as you can see here, I added the metallic acrylic. I used my hand, I used a brush, dried it in between, went back, added some more black and red, dried that, and then brushed on some more metallic. I repeated this process about 4 times. You can repeat it more or less depending on the effect you're looking for. Don't forget to paint the sides and the back as well. The whole process is incredibly messy, and as you can see from my hands with the plaster and the paint, you do get a bit messy, but the end result is worth it. Thank you for watching and enjoy.